Staff Sergeant Elias Rourke stood at attention beneath the vaulted crystal ceiling of the Galactic Concord Hall, spine straight, jaw set, boots polished until they reflected the stars. He had faced plasma fire, boarding actions, vacuum exposure, and the bone-rattling silence of deep space. None of that had prepared him for this room. Thousands of alien eyes watched him, faceted, glowing, stalked, or hidden behind translucent veils. The Concord's banners drifted in artificial gravity, each sigil representing a species humanity had met in blood and fire during the Caro's incursion. Elias was here because he had survived where others hadn't. He expected medals. He expected citations, perhaps a speech translated into a dozen languages, maybe even a commendation that would look good on a recruitment poster back home. He did not expect the pedestal to rise. The murmur in the hall fell to a hush as a small platform ascended before him. Upon it stood a figure no taller than Elias's forearm, slender, luminous, and unmistakably alive. She had iridescent skin that shifted colors like oil on water, for delicate arms folded respectfully and wings, real wings, folded tight against her back like spun glass. She looked up at him, eyes enormous and steady. Elias did not move. Training held him rigid, even as his brain scrambled. The High Arbiter of the Concord floated forward, its voice resonating directly in the mind. Staff Sergeant Elias Rourke of Terra. You are recognized for valor beyond measure. You stood against the Caro's brood when 12 allied legions broke. You held the line for 7 hours, allowing the evacuation of 3 civilian worlds. Images flashed unbidden through Elias's memory, burning stations, screaming comms, the weight of his rifle growing heavier with every fallen comrade. For this, the Arbiter continued, you were nominated for the Concord's highest honor. Elias swallowed. So far, so good. However, the Arbiter said, your species has no cultural framework to comprehend the honor we bestow. The tiny woman stepped forward. Thus, the Arbiter intoned, we present to you Speaker Lyra of the Ilari. The hall erupted in stunned whispers. Elias finally dared to breathe. With respect, Arbiter, he said carefully, I don't understand. Lyra bowed, wings shimmering. When she spoke, her voice was soft but carried clearly, translated through the Concord systems. I am not a prize, she said calmly, nor are you my master. I am here by choice. The Arbiter inclined slightly. Among the Ilari, survival is collective. When one outsider preserves our people at great personal cost, we bind ourselves to them, not as servants, but as witnesses and partners. Speaker Lyra has volunteered to serve as your companion emissary. Elias felt every eye in the chamber boring into him. Companion, he echoed. Lyra smiled, a subtle, radiant thing. I will learn your ways. I will speak of humanity within the Concord, and I will ensure that your name is remembered correctly, without distortion, without politics. Elias's hands curled into fists. He had fought so others wouldn't have their choices taken away. The idea of being given a person, no matter how ceremonial, set his teeth on edge. Do you want this? He asked her quietly. She met his gaze without hesitation.
Yes.
I chose you because you did not retreat when fear would have justified it. Among my people, courage that protects others is sacred. The Arbiter waited. Elias exhaled slowly. Then, I accept. On one condition. The hall stirred. That she is free to leave whenever she wants, he said firmly. No obligation. No debt. Lyra's wings fluttered in what might have been laughter. The Arbiter paused, then inclined deeply. So recorded. The media storm hit before Elias's shuttle even cleared Concord space. Human soldier awarded alien companion. Concord's strangest honor yet. Is this how humans claim allies? Elias ignored it. He had more immediate concerns, like the fact that Lyra needed a controlled environment, specialized nutrition, and a translator tuned to her bioluminescent cues. Their first weeks together were awkward. Lyra rode in a reinforced habitat sphere that clipped to Elias's shoulder harness when they traveled. She asked endless questions about human expressions, about why soldiers joked in the face of death, about why Elias kept his old unit patch even after most of them were gone. At night, she listened as he spoke their names aloud. "You carry grief like armor," she observed once. "It's heavy," he replied. "But it does not slow you," she said. "That is impressive." Elias snorted. "You should see my knees." Over time, something shifted. Lyra spoke before the Concord on humanity's behalf, recounting not conquest, but sacrifice. She told them of human medics dragging wounded aliens through fire, of engineers sealing breaches with their own bodies, of soldiers who stayed behind with empty rifles just to buy seconds. The narrative changed. Where humanity had once been labeled dangerously persistent, it was now called unbreakably loyal. When a border skirmish threatened to escalate months later, it was Lyra who intervened, invoking Elias's actions as precedent. The fighting stopped before the first shot was fired. Elias watched the broadcast from a quiet base on Luna, arms crossed, heart pounding. "You did that," he told her. "We did," she corrected gently. The end came quietly. One morning, Lyra's light dimmed. Ilari lifespans were short by human standards. Elias had known this. He had prepared, logically. Emotionally, he was ambushed. "I will be remembered," she said softly from her habitat sphere. "Because you let me choose." "You were never a medal," Elias said, voice rough. She smiled, wings trembling. "No, I was proof." When her light finally faded, the Concorde transmitted a final message. "Staff Sergeant Elias Rourke," it read. "By Ilari law and Concorde Accord, you are hereby recognized as kinbound. Wherever humanity walks among the stars, the Ilari will follow." No statue was raised. No ribbon pinned. But when Elias returned to Concorde space years later, older and grayer, he was greeted not as a soldier, but as family. And humanity learned something important that day. The greatest honor in the galaxy was not gold, or titles, or power. It was trust. And humans had earned it.